I think you should hear this.
Well, thanks, Sam, for joining me on the podcast. I really appreciate you taking the time on your Sunday evening.
No worries. Thanks for having me. And hi, everybody that listens.
So, Sam, I love the work you do. I love the communities you're having. Like, you're trying to reach as many people as possible and help people better themselves, whether that's with consciousness, with love relationships, whether that's with Spanish or with dancing. There's so many things that you do. If you want to give a quick rundown of who you are, what people follow you for, what are you trying to help people with? What could you let people know in a nutshell?
Yeah, sure. It's always tricky trying to create a definition in this reality. But basically, yeah, I do mindset, relationship coaching, and yeah, here to gift people tools, new perspectives to help them change whatever area they're looking to change so that they can feel greater within themselves, within their bodies, and in relationships, so they can actually enjoy who they are and express who they are to the world and not hide it anymore. So whether that be through online calls, my community, workshops, public speaking, whatever form that I'm bringing to the world, it's to uplift people and show them that there actually is so much more possible in this life than what we've been told and conditioned to believe. And so, yeah, if I can get people to start to see something different and choose something different, then amazing. If not, then amazing as well. I've given up the need of having to save everybody. So it's I be, and then if they want to choose it, they can. But if not, then that's totally fine too.
Yeah, I definitely, on my entering spiritual journey, when you have your little epiphanies and you try and force everyone on the same path, and you realize when you try and force change, it just creates more resistance.
I was thinking about that in the shower before, actually, because I was like, when you start to go on your spiritual journey or your self-development journey, and you start learning new information, you start seeing life differently, and you like start learning all this cool stuff, like, wow, life's so beautiful, there's so much more possible, like this makes my life so much greater. And then you want to share that with everyone around you. You're like, look, if you choose this, like this will actually help you, and this has helped me, and blah 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 blah. And then we sort of fall into this trap of like wanting everybody to also choose that. And then especially the people around us, like our friends and family and loved ones, we're like, come on guys, like let's choose this. And then we sort of can let that dishearten us a bit, because we're like, well, why aren't the people that I love choosing it? Why aren't they willing to come along too? And then that can create a lot of dis-ease for us, because we're in this battle of like, but guys, like this will help you. But then as soon as we think that we know what's right for them, or we know what's better for them, or that we can help them, we're putting ourselves superior. And so then there's this also like period where you have to like let that all go and be okay with them choosing what they choose, even if you have the awareness that they could be choosing something better, that they could be choosing this that would change their whole life. But we have to go, no, but if they're choosing it, that's their journey. Like, there have to be an allowance of that. Otherwise, I will suffer trying to save them when they didn't come and ask me to be saved.
Yeah, it can be such an isolating thing when you start your self-development journey, because you're trying to bring everyone along with you, and then you feel rejected. And then, one of the things further down the track is you look into shadow work, and as well, what part of you feels rejected? What part of you, feels like maybe you're not worthy? And, you're asking them, or you're telling them, really, come do this, and they're rejecting you. They're saying, no, I don't believe you. And then it'll bring up even more stuff for you. And then, you're all high and mighty because you're feeling all this good, you learn all this knowledge. And then you're shoved back down again. The ego goes, hang on, try this. And yeah, it's a really funny thing that it seems to happen to pretty much everyone on this path.
Yeah, and I think too, like if you're like creating some sort of business or doing some sort of modality in the healing world, it's like, I think what can help is really just giving up the need of your friends and family to choose it, because most of the time they are the ones that are definitely not going to choose it, or they might at the start to support you, but it's being that possibility for other people looking for it rather than going, need them to choose it though, because they're my friends and they're my family or whatever. Why won't they support me? But a lot of the time, just because they're friends doesn't mean they're going to be into what you're doing. So we have to like
Mm.
make sure that we're not letting that limit us in the creation of our lives. Otherwise, we'll hold ourselves back because of them, because they're not choosing it, and then we're like, oh, I feel alone, or it's like that, that disheartening feeling, like I feel unworthy because they don't want to choose it. But it's like, look beyond your friends and family to be for, so that the
Yeah,
people actually
and
looking
like
for
if you're,
you can come and show up.
yeah, and I think the thing, what you, as you're saying, is bringing up for me is if you're relying on your family and friends to do it for you, then you're niching yourself down to only the people that know you anyway. Where if you have a service for everyone, they're choosing themselves, and you're just the channel that they're going through. Like because there's 50 million fucking people who can do Reiki or whatever, and if you're only opening yourself up to and putting energy towards your family and friends, that's 5 people. But there's plenty of clients out there.
Yeah, for
Or
sure.
plenty of people that need healing, that want help, seek help. They're doing it for themselves, and they need to go to people that are open to having new people come in. And if you're putting all your energy in that but one basket, you'll be sadly disappointed, I think, from people that don't want it. They're not choosing themselves either. So,
And I think like anyone listening to, like, if you have got friends that are trying new things, doesn't have to be in the healing world, whatever, they might be selling a book they made or something. See what contribution you can be for them to support them, because you're your friends. It's like, what if you uplifted your friends and supported them in how you could? It might be like, okay, they're doing Reiki, I'll do a Reiki, just one Reiki session with them to support them because they're building their business. Or it might be like, they just released a book, I'll buy the book to support them. It's like, what if we had more of that mentality with our friends, so we could uplift, because they're your friends. Like, why would you not pay them $40 for a book? Why would you not go just get
I think,
to contribute to them, especially when they're starting out, because
yeah,
it goes a long way.
I think the hardest thing for me is seeing, like, because I'm that guy. I'll definitely support my friends and try and support the business whatever I can. And the easiest way for me to do it is, like, if I don't want to prioritize money in that direction, I can give time. I can help out if they're running an event. I can, be there for them and support them in whatever way with time, or share something
Yeah,
online. But
exactly.
so many people are scared of the fear of judgment of what their friends will think of them sharing someone's story about Reiki that they won't even share. And it's like, well, how much do you care about that friend? You're willing to let opinions of people you don't know, who you're not going to hear from, stop you from supporting a friend doing the thing. That's what really gets me.
Even just a bit of laziness where it's like, oh, I'm not gonna be bothered. But it's like you said, sharing a story or sharing a post that they've done takes 2 seconds.
Mm.
And that, you never know who on your friends list, if we want to look, is requiring that service. Whether it's a book, whether it's Reiki, whether it's physiotherapy or something, you don't know that the reach that you have with your circle, with your followers, are actually seeking what your friend is offering too. So it's not linear of
For
what
sure.
happens when we choose these things, but it's looking at, like, they're my friends, they're my family, whatever. I'll be what I can. If I can't do it monetarily, then time, or share something, or what contribution. It's asking what contribution can I be to this person.
Mm. Yeah. So I want to get into what led you down this path. What made you want, like, was it always in you to try and help people? Was it always in you, were you born thinking, all right, there's more to what I'm seeing in school, there's more to what I'm seeing on TV, there's more to life? Was there a pivotal moment that goes, oh shit, bang, eyes are open now?
Uh, yeah, so I didn't grow up doing spirituality or self-development or anything like that. I mean, like, throughout high school, yeah, just, your normal kid, just going to gatherings, mucking around with mates, like, all your silly teenage boy behavior. But there was no, I mean, I've always sort of been, well, yeah, always been joyful in a sense. And after high school, yeah, just very light, there was more looking for the light side of life, but there wasn't this like desire to improve my life in that sense of this like, let's get more conscious, let's see what else is possible. I was into partying a lot, drugs, alcohol, smoking. Didn't care for my body, didn't care for the world, didn't care for people around me. It was just, yeah, go out, get fucked up, and suffer the consequences of those behaviors, which led me down a path that led to an event that was the catalyst to me waking up. So basically, yeah, it was like a, how to describe this? It was like, it was all leading up to this moment where, long story short, because it's a long story short, 2016, at a festival, at a bush doof, I went into a drug-induced psychosis and drowned myself on purpose because I got to the point in that psychosis where I was like, the only way to wake up is to kill myself, and then I'll wake up and it'll be fine because none of this is real right now. And then drowned myself, didn't die, obviously, I'm still here. But during that time when I was physically drowned, had this, so your brain releases DMT when you're dying so that you can snap you out of dying. And had this DMT trip where this, I don't know if it was me or a part of me, whatever, was just showing me parts of my life. Like, hey, you need to change this, you need to change this, you need to change this, you need to change this. Showing me around everything. Then at the end of it, I was sitting at this paddock looking at the stars, and I was like, use what you've learned because now's not your time. And then all the chocolate colors like on top of each other and then spitting out all this water. I'm like, floods. I'm like, what the fuck was that? Blah, 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 blah. And so that moment was the part that woke me up, I guess, because after that festival was then when I started to become more conscious and start to change my life and start to like leave the friendship group I was in and go on my journey of self that has led me to today. So yeah, unfortunately I had to go through a big event that was the thing that snapped me out of it. But yeah, I had the part, that version of me prior to that was on a dark path of just self-destruction, and that path led me to that moment that then that Sam died there and a rebirth, and then into who I am today. That's a long story short, because that's a long story, that festival moment. But yeah, that's the point that was like the shift, and then everything else has been journeys and journeys and journeys from there. But it's been with the consciousness now of like, let's get greater, let's learn more, let's be more conscious. So comes with that is the deaths and rebirths and the old versions of you constantly shedding and dying, and the limitations that you have that fall apart. Yeah.
Super interesting, but I dare say that lots of people have had similar experiences, maybe not to the level of nearly dying, but some deaths internally at Dwarfs.
It was tough to come back after that too, because I was like, oh, I just tried to kill myself and I nearly didn't come back. So I was like, had to go through this phase after that of like, it took me about 2 weeks to start turning it into a positive, because I was like, you just fucking tried to kill yourself. Like, and then I would like, had to go through this phase of like, not beating myself up if I didn't do something, because I was like, you got a second chance, Sam. Like, why aren't you doing this thing? Then I'd be harsh on myself about it, and I had to like really like let that go, which took a bit of time, because it was like, no, it's okay. Like, yeah, I've got a second hand. Like, I'm not dead, but I don't have to be this fucking hard ass on myself and beat myself up if I don't do anything. It's like, just have more gratitude for every moment, and if I get the things done, cool. If I don't, doesn't matter. So there was that period of time too after that moment that I had to work through.
That's a good perspective to take, is not getting down on yourself for not achieving something straight away. So I
Well,
think that's
it is
something
when
that,
it's this
yeah.
reality is all about achieving. It's like your
Mm,
success is defined in this reality of what you achieve, whether
yeah.
that be money, material, status, whatever it is. And so we get caught up in that. I'm like, I got to achieve. I got to achieve.
Yeah, for sure. Like I see it, I feel it a lot with, getting closer to 30 and everyone's buying houses and having kids and doing all those things. And you get caught up in measuring yourself against other people. And you have to remind yourself to stay grounded and think relative to your goals and not society's expectations or your friends or family's expectations.
That's it. It's like you're living your life, not the life of this reality of what your
Mm,
parents have expected of you, what expectations they have of you.
yeah. I just want to like dig a little bit deeper, not
Hmm.
like just
Go
when
for it.
you
As deep
woke
as
up,
possible,
had
baby.
someone saved you?
So no, I've walked. They have these things at festivals called dance wise tents. I don't know if you've seen them.
Yeah.
The dance, it's like where people go when
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
had too much drugs and they need to fucking chill out on the beanbags.
Yeah, yeah.
I walked over to the dance wise tent after that and stayed in there because so after I came out of the water, like when I stopped drowning, like
Yeah, that's
I
what I mean. Like,
walked.
so you weren't unconscious under
I
the
was
water. Like,
no
how
no
did
no
you
no.
walk out of the water?
Uh, so I because how I did it was in the cubicles with the flush toilet. So I put my head on the headstand in the toilet, to block the hole, and then
Mm.
pushed the lever down. So it started filling, and then when it filled, I pushed my legs against the door to keep myself under there to drown myself because I was like, this isn't real. I need to die to wake up, and then I'll wake up and it won't be, I'll be awake. So then when I was drowned, I was in there, and then when I had that moment and came back, that's when I fell out of the toilet, like my head, and then I like was on the ground. And I got up, and then I went to the dance wise tent
Yeah.
because I was in that fucking bad psychosis, and I was just like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Damn. Did you feel like sober after that? Did it like just get everything off you?
Nah,
Just like, oh
I
fuck.
didn't feel sober till the next night, I think. I just had so much
Yeah.
drugs in my system. I couldn't, even though I had these moments throughout, I still had too
Mm.
much in my system to come back to my body completely and be normal. So there just had to be this waiting time of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could imagine. I don't even think, even without drugs, it would take a while to feel normal after doing that. Like,
Then I had to drive home
seem,
and like my
yeah.
body was cooked, bro, because I tripped for 36 hours.
Right.
All up, that
On,
whole journey of that was 36 hours
yeah, on
in
acid.
real time. In real
Yeah,
time.
yeah. Would have felt like a lifetime.
It was decades and decades and decades and decades of suffering going on in my mind.
Mm.
Oh, bro. Yeah. So that's what led me to, I can't deal with what's in here anymore because this is too much. I need this to end. This isn't real. I need to kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spoke with someone. You would have met Brendan at ESO. He's mates with Sarah and Dylan. And I did an early podcast with him, and he had a similar story. He took like a shitload of acid at home, and it got to the point where I was like, "Well, there's only one way out of this." And fortunately, he like found his phone on the ground and forgot about what he was trying to do to get
Uh,
himself out of it. I guess.
my issue was I had my my mate had mystery bumped me. So this is like behavior we're doing. Mystery bumps like when you close your eyes and you get a bump of ketamine
Whatever.
without seeing how big the bump is. And he needed
Right.
to get revenge on me because at his Christmas party I fucked him up a lot with the ketamine and put him in a K-hole straight away. And so, this behavior was what led us to this moment because we were just careless with all that sort of stuff. But so he needed a revenge. So then, yeah, when I started peaking in the acid, I lost the odds game to do a mystery bump, and then he put so much up my nose that, yeah, my mind and body completely split. because ketamine's a dissociate, so completely split my mind
Mm.
body. And then that's what was the hard part, because I had so much of that in my system. Coming back to my body was even harder because it was just so much that going on too. It was just like this complete split.
Did you have ongoing effects after that? Because you said it took 2 weeks to like forgive yourself a bit, but did it like mentally affect you like from the drugs, or was it purely just that
Nah,
fucking happened?
my body for a week was pretty just like had the runs, just like not feeling good. But no, it was
Yeah.
more just that in a battle of like, let's turn this around. And because I was
Yeah.
always sort of like, I've never been depressed. I've never had depression or something. So it wasn't my way of being to go into like, all right, let's be depressed about this. It's like, I don't want to be depressed about this. I want to be happy, and let's turn this around.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, awesome. So what was the first, obviously that's the moment you decided to change and improve your life. What were the first sort of steps you started taking, or things you started changing in your life that started to lead you down that way after that?
yeah, I mean, the food, I started eating more fruits and vegetables, and went down my vegan journey. And then like I went
Yeah,
like,
can we talk a bit about that and the
yeah,
fruitarian stuff? Because that's,
yeah, yeah,
I don't
sure.
know anyone else who's done that.
Yeah, so I mean, I was looking to change so much and get more conscious on so many things. So one of them was the eating. And so I was like, oh, I want to feel better, because surely I can feel better with food than what I'm eating right now. Because I never had any education on food. I just grew up eating whatever. So I was like, all right, let's start incorporating more fruit and veg. And then I went vegetarian for a bit, and then I hadn't done any research or anything. So I was like, would get home and I'd just be like, no energy, because I didn't know what to eat. So I'd come home and I was
Mm.
like, had to go to bed. And I was like, fuck, nah, okay, I need to go back to meat, and then do some research on what to eat, because I don't know what to eat. And so then that was probably the start of the research, when I just was like, started doing my own research on food. And then, yeah, I think a few months went by, and then I would like clean up the meat I was eating, clean up the food I was eating. And then I was like, all right, I've learned enough now of what to eat to be vegetarian. But then I was like, well, I don't even really eat eggs at all. So I might as well just go vegan, because I don't need that stuff anyway. So I went vegan. And then, so originally when I first went vegan was for health, because I wanted to feel better. And I was experiencing better health from eating more fruit and veg. And then I started learning about the animals. And then I was like, what? I went fucking full vegan, bro. I was like, what the hell? Like, are you kidding me? Like, how do I so oblivious to what the hell happens to an animal to be slaughtered and all that sort of stuff? And so I went heavily vegan. I was like, I went to I used to do hold the TVs up in the city of
Oh
I
yeah.
was in an activist group. And then I went to a
Yeah.
slaughterhouse. Like, I was like full fucking blown vegan for a while. And then went through that journey, and then I like had to chill out a bit. I was like, nah, Sam, like, no, this ain't it. Can't be, this isn't contributing. I don't feel greater being like this, in the terms of being so vegan in that sense, like for the animals. And like, they're like, you need to stop eating meat, telling people what to do. That type of thing. I was like, no, like, who cares? If they want to eat meat, they can eat meat. That's fine. It's what I'm choosing. So I kept on my vegan journey. I think I was vegan for about 5 years. But during that too, because I was started originally for health, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to eat Lord of the Fries and Beyond Meat and all that sort of shit. No, let's dive deeper down the rabbit hole of health. And that's when I came across, raw food and fruitarian and all that sort of stuff. And so I went heavily into that rabbit hole. And yeah, I did a 33-day juice fast. I did a couple 3-day water fasts. I went fruitarian for just over a month where I just ate fruit. Yeah, I dived into that. It was good. I mean, like fruit is still my main thing that I love to eat because I feel like it's the best food in my interesting point of view. And even like, one thing that tremendously changed my life was when I first went vegan, was changing my morning breakfast to a platter of fruit and starting the day with that. And that was like game changer. So yeah, I'm not like, I learned a lot in those 5 years that I still have that banked knowledge, but it's like, I'm not so crazy about it as I was back then.
Yeah. What was the biggest changes that you felt in your body and mind doing the like particularly a 33-day juice cleanse and fast? Because I did the podcast with Dennis and he did a 100-day fast, and spiritually he like was super tapped in. He said, so do you feel like that when you're clearing all the stuff in here, it allows things in? What was it like for you?
Yeah, there's definitely, you feel cleaner internally. Your mind feels more sharp, a lot sharper. Like there's not a brain fog or this like tired things. Like you feel just like, because I mean, when you're eating, especially if you're eating raw food, it's got the biophotons. It's full of biophotons, which helps that tapping more into that energetic field that is around us. You just feel energetic, like, and then you're not, because if you eat, we forget how much like food affects our thinking and our mental state. You could eat like a piece of cake, and then all of a sudden your thoughts are starting to not be as um great or as clear anymore because your stomach's like, oh, I don't feel as good. I gotta digest all this shit in this cake or whatever, and it's more energy is now spent to the body worrying about that rather than it just receiving whatever. So I know obviously like people, yeah, they eat and they feel more clean and their channel feels cleaner. They can receive more. I don't think it's like the only way to receive beyond this, but it is a great way that helps people.
Yeah, yeah. I think like you're eating raw vegan. You're eating alive rather than dead food that's got to rot and it's easier to process and that sort of thing. And when you're not processing shit, you then have space to process other stuff, to let other stuff come in. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I
Like
think the
if
main thing
you're
is
willing
like
to,
just like the points of views you have around food. Yeah, because if you have the point of view that I've ate a piece of cake that's terrible and I'm going to feel shit and it's the worst thing in the world and it's wrong to do that, well then it's going to be harder on the system and the body. You're not going to be more effective, like affect you more than if you didn't have that point of view. So we also have to look at our point of
yeah,
views on food too, because
yeah. I feel like that when you see people eat whatever they want and they don't gain weight, it's that like ignorance is bliss sort of thing. Like for me, being aware of how food affects me and I know that that's bad for me. You also have the guilt when you eat it, where people who just eat whatever they want, they're not holding on to it. Like they're not storing any emotional energy. They're not going, oh fuck, I'm a piece of shit for eating this. They're just going, oh, I'm eating this. It's feeding me, and then let it go. Where like I am ruminating all day on my decision to eat Macca's last night. I'm like, you're a fucking
you're
weak cunt.
suffering for
Why did you
that.
do that? And
Yeah,
you're literally storing energy.
yeah. And then it's like, if you're gonna choose, it's enjoy your enjoy your choices. If you're aware that, okay, I'm eating McDonald's right now, and I aim to not eat McDonald's because I know that I feel better not eating McDonald's. It's not right, it's not wrong. I just know that I feel generally better when I'm not eating McDonald's. But right now I'm craving McDonald's. I'm gonna have McDonald's. It's enjoy the choice, even if it's those things that you don't aiming not to choose. Enjoy it. Enjoy your choices because you're choosing it, so enjoy it.
Yeah, that's the biggest. Like that triggers something in me. Did the Melbourne Marathon 2 years ago,
Uh huh.
and you know, you're slogging it out, you're choosing to run 42 Ks and you're running past the chick holding a sign and it's like, smile, you chose this. Or like, smile, you paid for this. Or like, oh yeah, how could I be complaining about something that I signed up for and paid to do? Like,
I'm sure. Like when I think of doing a marathon, I'm like, fuck that, bro. That would be hell.
yeah. But that's what I mean. It's like you choose, like,
Yeah.
enjoy your
That's it,
choices,
yeah.
choose your hard. Like if that's the suffering that you're going to choose,
Enjoy it.
like, well, that's what you signed up for.
And that's the thing, you know, we have to realize that people love their suffering.
It's an addiction.
That's why they're choosing it.
Mm.
And a great thing to do is if you're listening to this and like, well, why would I love my suffering? Like, I fucking hate it. I don't want to be choosing this. Like, blah, 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 blah. If you keep choosing something over and over again, there is something in it that it's gifting you, that you love about it. It's why you keep choosing it. And so we have to ask the insane question of, okay, what do I love about my suffering? What do I love about this? What am I winning by choosing this? To get to that insane point of view to go, oh, it's this thing. Oh, wow, I didn't realize that that's why I was choosing the suffering. Okay, so, well, what would it take to get that in something that's actually going to contribute to expanding my life to something greater beyond this, beyond this suffering, beyond where I've decided that this is the only way to get that thing that I require.
Could you give an example of where that's happened for you?
Recently, I mean, I'll do a small one. Like recently, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. For like 3 weeks, 3 weeks, I was just like hating work. Like I said before, I've been going through this phase of like just hating being at work, but it was like really bad, and I was just like, I hate this place. Like I don't want to be here. Blah blah blah. And then I knew like Sam, like, you can just change your mindset about this and come with a completely different energy. But I didn't want to. I wanted to suffer. I wanted to go through this, like, I was just loving the suffering of it. I loving like this, like, I don't want to be here. And then what was it gifting me? I guess like this way of fitting in with this reality, with the people, like, I've got something to complain about too. So, most people are complaining about something. And when you got nothing to complain about, it's like, well, for some people, like, what are you going to talk about? Because most people just steer the conversation into something to complain about. And so having work to complain about was something to talk to people that were that way inclined. And then, it got to a point where I was like, driving to work, I'm like, all right, like, enough's enough now, Sam. Like, it's time to change this because I'm not enjoying my life. Like, why do I want to go to work and I'm going to be there? It's like, enjoy it. Yeah, it's not necessarily where I envisioned myself being in this time period of my life, like where I would really like to be, but it is where I am. So do I want to suffer for that, or do I want to enjoy it? And yeah, I just like was loving the suffering to the point where I was just like, nah, like, okay, now I've had enough.
Yeah. I can think of a time or a situation where that's happened for me in loving the suffering. And that's just choosing victimhood. When something doesn't go your way and you want, well, I feel like in society, a lot of us want attention, whether that's online or in person. We want someone to care about us, right? And so for me, I'm a very busy person, and I love all the things I do, and I choose to do them, and I keep being busy, but I know there's part of me that loves telling people how busy I am, and it's like, it stresses other people out feeling how busy I am, let alone myself being stressed from doing other things. But I love the acknowledgement. When you show people that you're like in the attention, you're like, I'm doing this, I've got this, I've got to do this, blah, 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 blah. But I love being seen when I'm complaining about having so much on. It's like, oh my God, you do so much. Like, that must be hard, or I wish I could do that, or like, you're basically acknowledging the grind, and you're getting like a either whether it's pity or a compliment, a pat on the back for all the things you're doing. That's how I feel seen and acknowledged, and you get attention for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can
You know,
also
and
look
it's
at
like,
like,
well,
you know, with that style of thing, you know, when we were a kid and we lived in a household that was maybe not so great or like not so loving, what can tend to happen is the kid that has it the worst is the one that's going to receive the love because they've got it the worst at the time. So the love from the family goes to the person that has it the hardest or the worst or whatever is going on. And that's how they receive love. And then so growing up, that's what they learn. Like, if I can prove that I have it the hardest right now and the worst, then I will receive love. So that's what I'll do to get love from my friends and my family. It's like, but look what I have to do. I have to do this, this, and this, or I'm like suffering here, here, and here. Because that's the seeking of love, because that's how you learn. One of the ways you learn which to receive love is from having
it's like,
a terrible situation going on.
yeah. And I see it all the time with kids in footy schools, like parents with kids. The ADHD kid, they're just like, if they act up at home, their parents will punish them, but they're getting attention, they're getting the love. And then in school, them acting up in class is getting everyone to look at them, the teacher, the principal, because that's how they've learned to receive love and attention. Is like, because maybe they haven't seen it at home being praised for doing good, but if they do bad, they get attention as well. So, and that's why and it doesn't matter what generation you're a part of. The naughty kid gets the most attention. They end up being the popular one because they've constantly got eyes on them, and they're doing things to entertain the people that are going to give them the attention. And it's usually them getting in trouble, but what they want is the love and attention.
Yeah, so it's something to look at too, because it's like, where am I? Where am I not being this energy for me that I require from somebody else?
Yeah, I think for me, it's like reflecting on what I was just saying about myself. Is that a lot of the stuff that I'm doing personally is for a little reward currently. Long term, like I'm playing the long game, and I believe that I'm doing all the things for the right energy, like trying to help people, trying to support, trying to be the best person I can, trying to grow, and then I know that it'll pay off financially to buy me the time to have the freedom to do the things I love to do, and all the things that we were talking about earlier is, I need more time to do the things I love to then be able to make them more money to have me more time, and vice versa. And I believe all the things I'm doing now are taking up so much time, but I don't think I'm getting as much back for what I'm doing, whether that's acknowledgement or financially. And so I'm taking the acknowledgement however I can, but it's allowing myself to step back and have the awareness as to why that is, I think.
Yeah, and look at like what are you not acknowledging about you in your life that if you did acknowledge would completely shift that? Because where you're only looking at, for example, the money coming in or the things actualizing as if you're doing good or bad. It's like, what else is showing up? What else is changing? What else is there that is occurring from all this that you're not willing to receive because you're locked in on like, well, I know this is working if this shows up like this, or if there's money hitting my account, or so you can't see anything else. It's like an example, if like you're like, I have no money, and then you go, the only way I can receive money is through work, well, then that's the only way you're going to be able to receive money. But it's like, if I buy you a coffee, that's receiving money, but you're not acknowledging it. So then if we can expand out a little bit and go, okay, well, where else am I receiving money? Oh, Sam buys me a coffee every week. That's receiving money. Okay, I am receiving more money than the money that goes beyond, than into my account. So it's like, well, what else is showing up that I haven't yet acknowledged? That if I did choose to acknowledge, would shift so much of where I think I'm stuck, or where I think that things aren't showing up, or I'm not getting anything out of this, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I was driving home thinking about this last night. Like I'm planning on moving to Sunshine Coast in March, and I'm like, oh, I'm so excited about that. But I'm living somewhere that's exciting me right now. But because I've like, this is familiar and I've done this before, I'm now already casting my mind 4 to 5 months, and I'm like, already like next thing. All right. Like I'm doing this now, I'm worrying about the next achievement, and now opportunities are coming in. Like it's really good that I am getting acknowledgement, and I have a couple of kids 1-on-1, so there's money coming in, like you said. But now I'm like, all right, no, but I need to be like here in and here. Like I was there, I'm getting this, but I'm so focused on getting to where I want to be that I'm like not acknowledging I'm acknowledging them, but I keep going, yeah, that's still, but it's not here. I'm going to keep comparing, I think.
And what gratitude can you have for all of that, for what you're choosing and what is showing up and what is currently your life, to sort of, yeah, I guess like ground you down a bit more, of like, rather than, okay, like, yeah, I've got this, it's cool and all that, but this is going to be greater, and so I really want this to be showing up. And it's like, which then, like, all right, I'm just like constantly there, but I'm not here. And so then I'm not living, because I'm not even here with this moment, and and with the gratitude for each thing right now that is my life, and sharing football with these kids and whatever I'm choosing, you miss all of that, and then you get to the 5 months, and then you'll go, what's the next thing? And it's like never ending. This, because it's like, what have you decided that that's going to give you that now isn't giving you? You know?
Yeah, all that's coming to mind is like actually taking time now to sit in it and sit in the gratitude, instead of being like, all right, today I've got to do this, and then that, and then that, and then that to get me to the goal. Whereas like, all right, I've achieved this today, sit in it, and then yeah,
And how much more
still
can that?
too.
Yeah, well, it's like, how much more can that actually contribute to actualizing that thing for you,
Mm,
rather than thinking,
yeah.
because what happens is you have the plan, and then you start to put in the steps to create that, and then that becomes your tunnel vision in order for that to show up, which is now your only way for you for that to show up, is if you choose these things, nothing else. So you won't receive anything else as a possibility. So choosing gratitude and choosing to acknowledge yourself more, and choosing all these other things that aren't linear, that don't really, like, you're like, oh, but if I spend time doing that, I miss time from doing this, and that's what I need to be choosing, because that's going to get me to there. You miss the value in all of that, and you miss the infinite possibilities of how your life can actually show up to be greater than what you envision it to be, and that it could actually show up even quicker or even greater than that thing, because you're willing to choose these expansive energies. For example, gratitude is one of the most expansive energies that there is, but it's not linear gratitude, and it's not like, but if I'm grateful for it, like, what's that really going to do? But that's the thing, it's not linear gratitude, for an example, but it's what expands everything it touches. And so,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, we have to, like, it's cool to have a plan, but if you start concluding how that plan has to show up, well, then you limit yourself dynamically, and now you don't have true choice. Your only choice is to choose these things. And as an infinite being, we choose that for what reason? True choice is the ability to choose anything in 10 seconds. But when you have the plan, and you can conclude the plan and go, this is what's right, you don't now have any choice but that choice. And that's not true choice.
Well said.
And so it's like, give up that need of being right and having to get it all right in order to get to that thing. And like, choose for it, but allow it. I always talk about, have your future be malleable, where it can change, where it's holographic, it's not solid. So that you can be more present with your life, and then you can actually be with the energies. So if something else is showing up that is like, hey, you can be there for it, even if it doesn't make cognitive sense to your mind. Because that's the thing, we try and cognify everything so that it fits in with our mind, and then go from there. But it's like, when we have all these other energies are like, hey, this is going to contribute. It's not cognitive, but, you know, it's being in that allowance of the universe gifting to you rather than, no, I know the way because I've concluded it. So I don't need your help anymore, universe, unless it's going to be what is this step and this step and this step, because they're the right steps. But anything else, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to receive it. But it's like that meandering path, like, you know, you want to get there, but you might need to go all the way over here to get there. Or you might be like, and then get there quicker or whatever. But it's like being willing to listen to the energy and follow the energy and go beyond the plan, because otherwise we attach to the plan and we suffer for the plan, and then nothing shows up how you think it's going to show up anyways. But we drive ourselves crazy trying to get there, and then we just like miss so much of what truly is possible for us creating our lives, because we're too tunnel visioned on the plan, too tunnel visioned on being right, needing to make the right choice. So if we gave all that up, well, what else would be possible for us in the creation of our lives? What else could we choose? Who else could we be? What else could show up? What already is showing up, we're just not receiving it because we're too in the, it needs to look like this. That if we step back and acknowledge, we'd actually go, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that before.
I went for a walk in Marysville, did like a mini hike, like just solo, a few
Stevenson
K.
Falls, is it?
Like,
Did you do that? Oh, no.
nah, it wasn't Stevenson Falls, but it was not far from there.
Yeah.
Just a little loop trail. And I did a lap and I was like, oh, I feel pretty good. Like I'll keep going. It was only 4Ks. But the first one I was just focused on getting through the lap. I don't know, checking my Strava, watching my track, like seeing where to go, and just had my head down and like looking at, it was getting into like swooping season. I wanted to be first snakes or whatever. I don't know. But I wasn't conscious of what else was out there. I was focused on getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a second lap. And I noticed so many things I didn't see before because I wasn't tunnel vision on getting the lap done. I was like looking around and I was like, oh, taking photos of the skyline and the mountains that I didn't even know were there. And that come up when you're talking about it. It's like you're so focused on the end goal that you forget all the beautiful things that you could have witnessed on the path, on the journey.
And you missed the, you know, as an example, could have been you might have walked past a little break-off path that still got you where you wanted to go, but then maybe potentially you saw like cool birds down there or whatever, you know what I mean? Just like, you don't know, like it's infinite possibilities. We have to be in that space of infinite possibilities, not one possibility, which is what I've decided my life needs to look like because I've decided that that's right. It's what else is possible that I haven't yet considered.
And that's having an expansive mindset. Like people go, oh, like I'm really thirsty. I just need a bottle of water. I want a bottle of water, you know. And you think that that's the only option available. Like I can only have water. And God was standing there with his hands behind his back, and he had coconut water and melon water, and he had chocolate flavored coconut water and all these things. But you had your heart set on boring old water. He's like, all right, like fine, if that's what you want. There's all these other options there, but you had your mind closed, so there was only one available. You weren't willing to see what was out there. You could have had all of these other options, and because you had your tunnel vision. That's, you know, if you ask for the universe for that one thing, that's all you get. But you could have had greater if you were willing to allow more in.
And it's like, you know, what are you asking for? Like, what life are you creating that isn't even your life? Like, how many things are you choosing that you don't even know why you're choosing them? Or you're choosing them because that's what you picked up and bought was the right way to do life, or you picked up your expectations from your parents, or you bought into other people's ways of creating life, and now you're trying to create your life like that, and you haven't actually looked back and like, well, what actually am I choosing? Like, what life am I creating? What is it, the life I'm creating, the life for me? Like, are these actually, you know, if you spanned out and looked at what you're choosing, like, do I actually want to be choosing these things? Is this the life I want to be leading? Or am I creating somebody else's life and trying to make that my life, and then wondering why it's so hard to create? Why I'm suffering so much? Why things are just shit? Because if you're trying to create somebody else's life, well, it's never going to work for you because it's not your life. You know, if you have somebody else's point of view that you've picked up as yours, well, it's not going to work for you because it's not your point of view. You have to look at what's my point of view on this. What do I know about this? To get to what's true for you, rather than creating from everybody else's points of views and thinking that's the way it has to be or that's the right way to do things. You know, an example would be like if your parents said life's hard and you have to work hard for money and you grow up with that, well, then that's how you then go out and create your life. And you go, well, I have to do life hard. I have to do the blood, sweat, and tears in order to create, because that's how you do life here. And that's how majority of people are creating their lives. Like, that's what they choose. The blood, sweat, and tears, the hard work, the effort, the force. That's what's valued here on this, in this reality, on this earth. This society values hard work. If you haven't like nearly killed yourself to create it, then you don't deserve it. You know, if you haven't done the blood, sweat, and tears, you don't deserve it. You haven't earned it. And so there's no value. We don't have that value in ease, in relaxation, and things showing up like that, because we're like, well, I didn't do anything really to earn it. I didn't do all the force and effort to earn it, so I don't deserve it. So therefore I can't have it. And so then we reject ease. We reject things showing up with more instantaneity, like more instantaneous.
Yeah, instantaneously.
Because our point of view goes back to our point of, you know, your point of view creates your reality. Reality doesn't create your point of view. It goes back to, well, life has to be hard. And so therefore, the only way that you can create and have things show up is through the hard work. And then, so you will always have to do that, rather than going, well, what's my point of view? Whose point of view is this? Oh, it's my dad's point of view. And that's probably not even his point of view. He probably picked it up from his dad and his dad, and then from society. It's just like nobody's questioning their own points of views. And so then it's like, okay, well, what else is possible for me though in the creation of my life, creation of money, business, relationship, sex, whatever it is? Like, what do I know about creating that? And what else is possible for me beyond, for example, this point of view that I've had? Otherwise, you will have to do life hard. You will have to keep doing that way. And then you'll have the reasons and justifications to be right for choosing that, even though you feel wrong, even though you're not, you know, any reason and justification you use for anything is because you need to be right for that thing. And so, because then if we keep on this example, everything you've, you know, say you're 30 years old, so everything you've created to 30 has been through the hard blood, sweat, and tears, the hard work. So your mind has evidence as to why to keep choosing it. Because, but see, I've got this though, I've got this house, I've got this car, I've got this blah, 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 blah. So it works. And so the brain has the past reference points to keep choosing it. So then you go, that's your reason justifications to be right for continuing to choose to do life hard rather than looking for a different possibility. And so it's like, well, we have to look at like what are our points of views, and are they ours? And is a life we are creating our life, or are we creating a life through some other people's points of views and wondering why it's really not working and things aren't getting greater, or things aren't changing as fast as we'd like to change, or we really aren't having that much of a good time? Because if it's not yours, it's never going to work for you because it's not yours. But then you'll have the reasons, justifications to say that it is working for you because, well, things are showing up. This has showed up through the blood, sweat, and tears as an example with the hard one. But it's like, okay, but, well, have you looked at what else is possible? We don't have to create life in that way. So we have to look at like, hey, well, what am I choosing? Is it actually what I would like to be choosing? Is what I'm creating my life as my life that I would like to have? Or am I actually choosing for other people? And how is that truly going for me? How do I truly feel inside, like creating that? Like, have I wondered that maybe there is something else possible?
What's something someone can do to help clear their mind, to create that alignment, to choose for themselves? And where I'm trying to direct this question is access
Yeah, I
bars.
was going to say access bars. I mean, yeah, look, access bars is a great modality that has contributed massive amounts of change to me throughout the last 5-6 years. Those of you listening that don't know what Access Bars is, it's a body process on the head that works on 32 energy points that are all different areas of life, like money, control, creativity, joy, sadness, awareness, time and space, communication, blah, 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 blah. It's working on the energetic charges in the brain to clear out the limitations, the thoughts, feelings, emotions, judgments, beliefs, considerations that we have, because the brain stores it all and holds it in there with an electromagnetic charge. It's dissipating and clearing those electromagnetic charge that can then release those energetic blocks in whatever area, whether it's with our body, with sex, with money, with work, with emotions, with whatever. And it's de-stressing and bringing that peace and relaxation back to the body. So that's obviously, there's so many modalities that you can use. You can go to nature, you can go do yoga, you can do whatever. Access Bars is great of just literally clearing out the shit from the mind. I had mine run 2 weeks ago, actually. Because I was just like, my head's so full of shit, I need to get clear it out. But yeah, that too was one of, like, you know, if I look back at my journey, there was a period of time, I think it was about 6 years ago now, where I was like, you know, doing all this spiritual stuff, and I'd started like sharing things on my Instagram and, you know, getting into all that, getting more conscious. And I was like, well, why am I so fucking miserable behind this fucking coffee machine? And then I was like, surely there is something else possible than this, because this can't be it. Like, this cannot be it. And then that's when Access Bars entered my life through a friend. She was like, hey, can we get your bars run? And I resisted it at first. I was like, no. And, you know, those things that we resist, if we choose, are the things that set us free. And so I resisted it for a while, and then eventually I was like, you know, I got nothing to lose. Like, fuck it. Like, if nothing happens, then I'll just go back to being miserable behind the coffee machine, like, whatever. I knew nothing about it. I mean, you guys know more than I knew before I got my first session, just from what I just quickly told you. But I just went there, laid down for an hour. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep. After an hour, got up. That next week, I think it was 2 weeks later, I quit the job I was at, because a job at this organic health food shop showed up, which was more expansive for me at the time. It just like cleared so much and like brought so many new possibilities to me. And then I eventually learnt how to do it. And then I was a facilitator for a while. So I taught people Access Bars for a few years. And now I'm just a practitioner. I don't have the facilitator license. I just do, you know, if you're like, hey, I want to get my bars run, I can run your bars. But yeah, throughout the last 5-6 years, I still get my own, I still receive sessions because it contributes to me. You know, I went through a phase a couple of years ago where I was just like, I don't know what makes me happy anymore. And then this girl showed up that was from Russia that moved near me, and she found me on Instagram. She's like, hey, I do Access Bars too. Like, let's do some swaps. A swap is when, you know, you do it to each other. And then we just ran each other's bars and some different body processes for a while, and like completely shifted all that. So I still choose it. I think it's a phenomenal modality that is a different possibility. But yeah, so that's one of the ways you can clear your mind. But obviously there's a million ways you can clear your mind.
What are some other ones that you use personally?
I mean, if life's ever getting too much, if it's too much, obviously going back to the basics, and the basics are individual to each person. You know, your basics look different to what my basics are. But if the basics, for example, is, okay, spending more time on my body and stretching in the morning, doing some breath work or some meditation or some qigong, or what are those things that I know if I choose, I feel fucking better afterwards, because we so overlook them and we don't choose them, and then we like come back, you know, always return back to them. What are those things that you find yourself returning back to? What are those basics for you? Those fundamentals that help keep you sane, that you know that you feel lighter and better afterwards. Yeah, come back to those things. It might be like going for an ocean dip or walking in nature or meditating or whatever it is. Yeah, choosing those things definitely helps. So just like that, okay, now let's just slow things down if it's getting to that point, you know. But yeah, obviously like journaling can help. Just like getting words out so it's not so noisy. What else do I choose? Salsa for me is like, I don't have to think of anything else. When I'm dancing, I don't have to think of anything else. Dance, like, is great therapy for me.
And so you've been doing salsa for How long?
Yeah, 5 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to. This is where I was leaning anyway. So I'm glad you went there. I want to talk about that. So you've been learning Spanish for 7. Wanted to pick up salsa. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So I like I was saying earlier, I don't remember the initial. I'm pretty sure it was because I was learning Spanish. I was like wanting to immerse myself more in the culture. I'm not 100% sure that is why, but I believe that is why. I was just like, oh, because it was so long ago now. So my friend and I went into the class, and then from there just fell in love with the dance, and then have been dancing ever since. I've done other dance, like I was saying, I've done hip hop and choreography and ecstatic dance and other forms of dance, but yeah, salsa's been the main one for me for the last 5 years.
How do you feel? You're pretty like happy, open, like don't give a fuck what anyone thinks person. But for most men, you go, oh yeah, like I've just been doing salsa dancing for 5 years. You'd get some pretty like strange looks. Was there like any judgment? How do you feel about being a guy doing like dancing, taking it up?
Yeah, no, I
And
don't
like,
have
how do you think that?
any. I'll go.
Oh, I was going to say, like, do you think that like if not empowers you because you can like stand in your like it takes a strong person to be able to do a feminine activity and not carry any weight on it. Like that, I think that's a fucking strong quality to
Well, the
have.
thing with, I mean, with partner dancing, with salsa, for example, you got the lead and the follow. So the lead, if you want to go masculine, feminine, well, the lead is the masculine, the follow is the feminine in that sense. So it's,
Mm.
even though dance is more seen as a feminine activity, when you're just dancing by yourself and flowy dancing, I guess in a sense, salsa has more of that structure of like, there is a lead, there is a follow. You know, the lead learns to become a good lead, and the follow learns to become a good follow. There is this, the lead has to learn to lead, to actually lead the follow, which is,
Mm.
a lot of, as you go on, you learn to become a better lead. And then the follow's got to learn to become a better follow. Because, the main, with women, for example, that do the follow, their main thing is giving up control when they come to class, because they're so controlling of their lives and of their partner, and they always are in control. And then they come to salsa and they have to follow and give that up. It can be like, for a lot of women, it's a challenge to surrender that control, because they don't do it in their outside life. There's always a sense of
Mm.
control going on. So like there's journeys within itself in the dance, in the salsa thing. But like I don't fear any judgment or what anybody I haven't had anybody like, oh, you're what so and so for dancing salsa for whatever. Like, I mean, me personally, anyways. Like, if someone has a judgment of me, it doesn't. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, that's
Yeah,
cool.
that's because you're in the work. Like it takes work to get to that point. I think as well.
But yeah, it's like, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, you get your general guy off the street and you go, oh yeah, just start like salsa dancing with this person. But I'm not fucking doing that. I don't want to be seen
Yeah,
doing
that's
that. They take on,
that macho, like,
yeah,
I was
and
oh, was that
yeah,
so when I was at work, probably like, I don't know, it was sometime this year. There was I don't know if they were on a first date or what their relationship was. It was they were probably in their 40s, and he was telling the girl that he did some salsa classes, and she had so much judgment of him doing the salsa classes. She's like, "Well, really? That sounds silly. Like, why'd you do that for?" Like, and I don't know if that was coming from, that his, because if they're, I don't know if they're on a first date, but it was felt datey, the vibe. But like,
mm,
I don't know if that was coming from like she just thinks salsa's stupid, or if it was coming from that because he's going to be dancing with other women, she doesn't want that, or whatever it was. But she was judging him for, and then they came to the count. I was like, "Oh, I heard you did salsa. You're dancing salsa." And he's like, "Yeah, I love salsa. I've been dancing for 5 years." And like, she couldn't say anything because she was like, "Oh," because he was even saying to her like, "Oh, yeah, you feel like you're judging me a lot," but Yeah, so it's interesting to have that experience, seeing the girl judge the guy for, but I don't know if it was coming from the jealousy maybe of, oh, he's if he's gonna do that, it means he's gonna be dancing with all these girls, and I don't want that.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. Or is it just a cultural thing? Because like the way you framed it, where it's a masculine thing, the man's leading the woman in a Hispanic culture, then that's what it is. But from an outsider's perspective, and like Australian Caucasian culture, where that's not a thing, like like dancing in lead and is not common. It just looks like a guy dancing with a bunch of girls is like either he's trying to get with them or he's gay.
yeah,
Like that's just so from her closed mind perspective, she must be like, oh, that's pretty like feminine as well. It could be. I mean, who knows? I'm not her,
yeah,
so like making assumptions based off my experience, seeing other people's perceptions of men doing less common
yeah.
masculine
And salsa is,
activities.
I mean, like anything, like the main purpose of salsa is to have fun. Like,
Mm,
it's not like you're there like, all right, I'm in the masculine leading. Like, it's not like that's you're leading, but you're not like, I'm here to be masculine and lead a girl. It's like, I'm
yeah.
here to enjoy this dance because of whatever it gives me. Maybe it is the inner freedom or the joy or whatever it is. Or maybe it is because
Mm,
I like leading or whatever it is. I've started doing follow. So I'm learning follow at the moment too, with the girl part. And that's
mm.
funny because I have to dance with guys now. And so it's so funny seeing guys' reactions in class. Like some guys are very like, yeah, whatever. And there's guys that are like weird about it, like, oh, I've got to dance with a guy. Like, no, I can't do this. I need to dance with a girl. So it's interesting that sort of journey of being a follower and dancing with some guys that are like, you can see that this, no, like, you know,
And what made you want to do that?
just to better my salsa. It's fun. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I can learn more. I can learn how to lead better now because I can setting up because now I'm doing the follow. What's going to set up the follow better? Blah 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 blah. And then it's also fun to be the follower because it's completely different. As the follower, you don't need to think. You just need to be fucking present and follow. You don't know what's going to happen, so you have to be so present.
Mm,
Whereas the lead, you sort of there's a bit of thinking because you're thinking of the moves a bit, and there's like you're like you're leading. You're the one that's steering the ship in a sense. You can't just be like,
yeah.
oh,
You're
whatever
counting
happens,
every.
like
Yeah.
the follower is just like empty brain, like let's just move and I'll just follow. So it's a completely different energy, which is it's fun because it's that different presence in the dance that is there.
Mm. I think it's like it sounds like like and we'll talk about this then, the divine union. And I feel like that's an awesome way to practice embodying masculine and feminine. The women, they're flowy, they're in the emotions, and the guys like, all right, how do I get us to next, to next, to next? And the guy's the one thinking, stepping it out. The woman's like, oh, like along for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to like practice being in both, a good way of being in flow. Yeah. And then like, it's awesome that you mentioned being in there follow because you're getting to sit in their shoes and be in their perspective, and then you learn, same as you be able to embody the feminine. You can see what they go through, and then it will then help you be better. Take the masculine lead as well because
Exactly.
all right, this was what would happen to them in this situation. How would I change my approach, knowing that that's how they're going to feel, or this is what they have to do?
Mm. Are you wanting to talk about the divine union, or is just that little bit?
Yeah, like I was I don't know, I was going through my head and like I don't know, nutting that out myself.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, I want to talk about workshops in general
yeah.
because it's something else you do, and I think it's really cool. And then I want to start with that one because it was something we've done together, and I thought that was really awesome to be able to put together an event where in such a divided society that we can try and bring people together and help them embody their masculine and feminine, because so often people are so pushed to one side based on experiences from their life. That's what keeps them safe,
Mm-hmm.
and to help them like create harmony and union with both is really awesome. Yeah, you do lots of different things. So I'd love to talk about your workshops in general, and if you want to start with the divine union and why you're passionate about bringing people into an intimate space to help them get better, then that would be cool.
Yeah, sure. Well, I guess, yeah, like, so the last, not this year, but the last, I've run 2 workshops this year, but the 2 years before that was probably more heavily workshop-based years than this year. Yeah, because I've been doing coaching and online classes for so long. I want to say for so long, for like 5, 6 years, 5 years maybe. I love doing group work. I love, when I do the online calls and there's a bunch of people, it's so fun to facilitate a group. Not that I don't love one-on-one, but the group, there's just more energy going on. There's more happening. And I love that. And then so from spending so many years doing the online group stuff and online classes, I was like, well, it's time to expand that and do public speaking. And I wasn't a public speaker at school. I hated it. I was like, shaking with the thing at the front of the class, like bright red, like, you can hear yourself talk. You're like, I don't want to, this is hell. Get me off this front of everybody as quick as possible. So I didn't have any like my I guess what helped me was doing the online classes that was, and then like obviously to being more present online, but two, I had gained more confidence within myself as a being, as a person to do that. It was just felt natural in a sense. It wasn't like, oh, it just felt like, no, this is what I want to do. This is what I can do. This is a gift of mine. So I started out, my first ever public speaking event was at Artful Yoga Gallery in St Kilda, which if you live near St Kilda in Melbourne, go to one of the events there. Neha runs it and she's amazing. It's a beautiful space. So much, just a beautiful community there. I had my first ever public speaking event there. I can't remember what I spoke about, but I was like shitting myself before I was like sitting in front of everybody talking, because the first time I was like, oh my God, this is full on. Like, because I think there was like maybe 25 people or something. And I was like,
Damn.
like, whew, it's a lot, but it was great. I love this though. Like I've expanded in the moment. And, when that ended, I was like, I want more of that. Because that energy contributes to me. It feel like it's expanding me. I want more of that. So then I started doing weekly self-development classes there. And so that was sort of the start. And then from that, I got asked to speak at a exhibition. And I spoke about attachment, I believe. And that was my first, like, I guess, outside sort of public event. And then from there, started did the workshops at Prana House, and then the Divine Union with You. I spoke at Esoteric. You were there for
Yeah,
that
I
as
want
well,
to talk.
actually.
Yeah, I was there for that, and I love that. That was an awesome workshop. I want to talk about that because at the start of this conversation, basically the spiritual way, like that path starts at a doof, and such a full circle moment to then come back and then be speaking at one about consciousness.
Oh, it was cool. It was great. It was like I still remember getting that phone call because, yeah, obviously, like I love bush doofs and been going to bush doofs for, probably 12 years. When you go, people, when you know. So yeah, when I was like, okay, I stepped out of that sort of like I didn't go to bush doofs anymore to get fucked up. I went there, I was going sober and I was like, just going for the music and the vibes. And then to be able to then also like bring the work I was doing outside of the doofs to the doof. It was, yeah, I remember getting the call. He calls me up because you have to apply. This one, I applied to do it, and he's like, hey, just letting you know that, yeah, we saw your application for Esoteric to do your workshop and we loved it, and yeah, we'll have you on. And I was like, so happy. I was just like, oh my God, yeah, thank you so much. You have no idea how happy I am right now. And then I think I called one of my best mates, called my dad. I was just like, so happy. I was just, I was like, what the fuck? And then, yeah, that was great. I did a 2-hour one there, and yeah, it was great. Each time you do a public speaking, it's like anything. Each time you learn more, and like you learn to be, in this sense, you learn to become a better public speaker the more you do it.
Mm.
But yeah, had been doing, the in-person ones, like the Divine Union. I ran my own self-love workshop, 5-hour one, did a bunch of other ones. And yeah, I spoke at Rabbits Eat Lettuce up in Queensland this year. There's one I do each year. It's in Marysville. So when you've said Marysville, it's like, oh, Marysville. It's called Mantra Fest. And it's a drug and alcohol free. It's like kirtans, yoga, workshops all day, drumming circles, all the healing modalities. So I run access bars all day. Then I also do a workshop on one of the days too. And they have like the kirtans at night time and all like breath work and all that sort of like, if you're looking to meet like-minded people and connect deep to yourself, highly recommend. It's in the Australia weekend. I speak it there every year now.
Dude, I go camping, or like, I mean, when I was living in Melbourne, I'd go camping in like near Marysville Australia weekend.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh, true. Yeah, it's cool. It's really fun. Like, I love it there. It's great people. So yeah, no. So I've just been that's my next one in January. I haven't this year. I sort of like haven't been creating it in my own because I've been on doing other things. But yeah, it is great to facilitate to a group of people and be one of the things I love the most. And then same with online calls when I do my online calls and stuff like that is the questions people ask. Like I love when questions create the class or questions create the convos and go from the questions the person have. Because it unlocks so much for them and everyone that's there. And also like there's times when they'll ask me a question and I'm forced in that moment to expand my being to be able to facilitate the question being asked. And so that's a cool for me in those moments. I'm like, okay, like I'm required to be more in this moment to facilitate what is showing up right now.
What's a question that forced you to be more?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. That's there's not one that I like specifically remember because I'd have to think because I've done so many classes
Yeah.
and things that
No, that's cool.
yeah.
I feel the same way though. I really love same as like after any workshop when there's time to just chat after, like integration period or whatever, and you just go, oh, like this is what blah blah blah. This is what come up for me, or this is what I was thinking, or I want to know this, and then it just pops off like a popcorn, and everyone else is going, oh, same, this, and this is how I feel, and you get to see everyone relating their experience, and especially if you're the one facilitating, it's like, all right, like how did we create this?
Well,
And
that's the
then
thing.
it's
I always
you've
encourage people before I start speaking is like, if you have a question, ask it. Because you don't know who else is here that has the same limitation you have, or it will open up something in them too that they are also, because if we can unlock it within you, then they can help unlock it within whoever else has that same limitation.
Yeah, it's the same at Men Over Matter. It's like, don't think any question is stupid. Don't think any problem you have is insignificant and you're the only person going through it. Because I bet 9 times out of 10, someone here is going to have, if not the same, something very, very similar going on. Yeah.
And two, like, you might ask a question and it's this thing, but then, consciousness includes everything. And it's like so many times, the question starts here, but then we're all the way over here talking about something that has nothing to even do with this topic, but it does. But like, how are we all the way over here when this is where we started? But it's like, that's consciousness. It's all interrelated. And it's like, so many times we think this is what's the problem, or this is the limitation, or what's the thing that's stopping us, but it's something all the way over here. But then the question allows us to dive in energetically and go like, all right, let's go there if the person's willing. You got to be willing to go there too yourself. Some people have a wall. It's like, oh no, that's too much. It's like, okay, well, if we can, without abusing ourselves, put down the walls and barriers and lean into the discomfort, go deeper in.
Yeah, it's like there's a string, you tug on it, keep pulling it. Where does it lead to? Yeah, I love that stuff. I need to do it more internally. Like just sit there and meditate and follow where it goes. So constantly keep busy, and you're like, the next thing is to go with this and just following it. You're like, all right, now I got to go here. And
Do you ever
during COVID lockdowns.
Yeah. How'd you find it?
I went to Kirtan on Friday night, actually.
That just went?
Yeah,
Nice.
dude, I
First time?
fucking loved it. First time at an event.
Oh,
I've done like
cool.
and we do like meditate and mantras and stuff, but to
Yeah.
actually go to a
It's
kirtan
cool,
event,
eh? They're really fun. So much,
dude,
they love it. Yeah, it's cool.
I froth. So I've been listening to Krishna Das, like one song, one meditation on repeat. Like it's my new. I messaged a girl that I met at the event, and I sent her. I was like, "Hey, if you like that, like, listen to this. It's my Rufus to Soul Inner Bloom for spiritual people.
Oh, cool. Well, send it to me so I
It's
can
like
see.
13 minutes. I'll have to
Yeah.
send it to you, and it's like there's a build up, and it like hits peak intensity,
Yeah.
and then like it drops off, and I'm like listening to it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's a meditate. Like I don't know. I was just like because you feel the energy of everyone. Like my favorite thing about kirtan is like as it builds,
Yeah.
it's not just you, it's everyone,
Yeah.
and because you're all literally on the same frequency. It's just I just felt so light. I was like on the low periods, I was falling asleep. Like I could feel myself dribbling in my eyes, crying from like falling asleep.
Yeah.
I just felt fucking amazing, dude. Like it was so good.
Good fun. Definitely
Yeah,
recommend.
and I made a really good connection. Like I was up here at footy playing with footy people all the time, and like that, although if we're not playing footy, they're drinking, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to do something for me. This event popped up on Facebook. We had like 7 likes. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go. Like, let's do it, right? And I went, and I like come out from the bathroom. There's a chick sitting next to me, and she's covered in tats as well. And turns out she's just moved up from Melbourne, and we just like chatting. Whenever there was not something on, we were just like chatting, and yeah, like mates now. And it's like, oh, I met someone in alignment when I went and did an activity that's aligned with my values.
And that's the thing, yeah. When we
It's
choose
crazy.
for us, it's like those things show up.
Yeah, it was so cool. I had so much fun. Like, and they're like, oh yeah, we do this once every 3 months here. I was like, oh, fuck off. But they have it every Sunday at another place at 5. So
Oh, cool.
another Sunday, I'll definitely go to that other place because it felt so good. And to do something for me that filled me up was fucking nice.
Yeah, and we've got to value
And I think,
the value that value choosing us.
I think I also found a form of meditation that's good, works for me where I'm at. Because I'm like over caffeinated, overstimulated. Sitting there actually doing nothing is really hard, which obviously that's part of the work I need to get better at, right? And yoga is also really good and I need to work more at, but I'm like, if I'm in the gym, I'm like, I've got the program, the coach, I've got to do that. Haven't been prioritizing that, but kirtan was like cool because I love music. I love being with other people, where yogas are very like, you're feeling into your body, meditations in your head, but like that, having that sense of community is something I've lacked. And so like being that and literally sharing energy and vibration with other people, I felt, I was like, all right, this is like something that's for me for sure.
How's it getting better?
But yeah, Mantra Fest sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, I recommend if anyone's in Victoria to go. It's a Australia weekend. It's like free. I think it starts on the Friday and ends on the Monday morning. And yeah, it's just a bunch of like, they've got your healing pods, different healing modalities, and then the day is just filled with workshops, drumming circles, breath works, all that sort of stuff. Workshops. I'll be running a workshop on negative thinking, and then the night times are like kirtans, where it's just like that what you were just describing. Everyone's building up the energy, chanting, dancing, and it's just that everyone's just that letting go, and you're just like, all right, like let's just be and enjoy and have fun and be that community, and everyone's dancing and running around in circles, and it's cool. It's a cool vibe.
Fuck yeah.
And it's out in nature, like beautiful nature, so definitely recommend.
Yeah, if you get good weather there that weekend, that would be perfect.
It's usually pretty warm at that time of the year.
Yeah. What have you got anything else coming up?
In that realm, no, just that festival. I haven't got any of my my own ones planned as of this 10 seconds. I've been putting more energy into building the new community that you would be seeing me post about Can I talk about it?
School?
Yeah, it's on school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a new.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
into that.
yeah. So I've had in the past on Facebook a community group called the Consciousness Express, and I was on Facebook, and then I sort of moved to a WhatsApp chat where I was just posting in the WhatsApp chat, just daily insights, events, upcoming calls, whatever, and just like helping people, just giving them new perspectives on life and sharing my wisdom. And then I have a paid community group called the Wilds of Consciousness, and that was on Patreon. And then I was like, heard of school, once chose it, but then I was like, no, I'm going to go Patreon. And then it kept popping up. And then I looked into it more and I was like, well, actually, it seems like everything's in one place on school. It's like the community area, the classroom where you have all your courses and whatever. You can do live calls in there. It's all one spot. So I was like, all right, let's make that shift. So it's only been very recent that shift has happened where I've like, okay, I've moved now to school, SKWL, and it's all on an app. And then so now I have the free community, which is the Consciousness Express. It's free. You get access to the community area where I post different things, whether it be on relationships, mindset, tips, like whatever, anything consciousness I post in there that you have access to. Has different categories, so you can like go through the different categories. You can post in there yourself, share your own wisdom, comment on things. And then there's also, I think there's the Transform Your Life and Relationship course, some bonus nuggets, which are different audios, and then I've actually put my podcast in there too, that you get for free. And then I've also then put in the Wilds of Consciousness too, which is the paid part. So that's the premium tier, which is it's $20 a month upgrade. And that gives you access to the monthly live call where we deep dive into different topics of consciousness, the coffee break conversation, which is a weekly mini conversation. And then you get access to, I think like all up, because I used to run a men's group, the Gentlemen of Possibility. All those recordings are in there that you can purchase. But besides that part, it's about all up, including those, all up, there's over 73 hours of content inside this group at the moment. The paid version upgrade gives you access to everything but the Gentlemen of Possibility. So I think like 56 hours of content or whatever you get. And it's like my way of creating like a mini Netflix of consciousness, accessible at your fingertips, where I'm going to be putting my life's work into there, like through courses and things like that. So it's free to join. You get heaps of stuff. I think you get over 10 hours of content free, and then the community area. And then there's also the people who actually want to do more work and are seeking greater. Then the Wilds of Consciousness upgrade is in there too, where it's like I don't hold back on where we go with consciousness there. That's like you get all the replays. I think there's 25 so far replays, calls we've done over the last couple of years. So that is an invitation for anybody listening who wants to come along on that journey. And it's all just on an app. Yeah. The Wilds of Consciousness is I don't hold back there. So, but yeah, come along.
Love it. Yeah, I keep seeing ads for school coming up, and they're like, if you're doing this, we want you. If you're doing this, I'm like, bruh, like they must be spending so much money on online ads at the moment. And my algorithm, the things I do are so broad that it's like everything is like being like, if you have a podcast, we want you. If you're a coach sport, we want you. If you're a running coach, we want you. I'm like, bro, this is so funny.
But it's pretty good setup. Like, if, for example, I pay for another community, I'm in another community that I pay for. It's a movement community. And like, you can set up affiliates there. So if I, for example, say, hey, I'm doing this movement, things look at how much better I am, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you should join. And you join from my link, then I get, I think it's 50% of every month you stay in of what you pay.
No shit.
Yeah, so they've set it up good. It's not like, you can actually have a group and then have people
in your group making money. Yeah, so you're more inclined to support people as well.
And it's like But it's not like just like a one-off payment. It's like every month that you stay as a member, then that person receives money from that. That's, you know, obviously you want to have people.
Yeah.
That's like the main reason to get people is like, be an affiliate. It's like, no, like come, it's just, you know, with my group, like come get more conscious.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, that's been my where my energy been going lately. And I'm also building a 3-month beginner Spanish course for people wanting to
Spanish course.
learn Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm building a 3 months.
Sí.
¿Quieres aprender? I just said, do you want to learn? Yeah, but it's like
No hablo español.
That's also too where my energy is going.
Yeah, cool.
So
that's awesome. So if people wanted to reach out to you to join those, I can put the school link in the show notes. And if they want to find you online,
Earth Sam Love, all one word, on Instagram. Should come up on Facebook too. I think it will be TikTok. I'm mainly active on Instagram, but that's linked to my Facebook page, so that does post to my Facebook page. Earth Sam Love. You can see me on there. I've also got a podcast called The Consciousness Express, which is on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. It's also in the community too. So, yeah, if you want to get your bars on, if you want to do a one-on-one session, or if you want to join the community or whatever it is.
You take your one-on-one coaching clients as well?
Yes, I'm not like actively like doing it, but the door is open if someone wants to do some work, dive into whatever area they're having trouble with or whatever. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I just think I hope people needed to hear this, hence the name of the podcast. I hope people find value in the conversation, and if people do feel called to learn more from you, obviously you can start with the free stuff and start with the community, but if you wanted to get more intimate, closer access, then that option is there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we conclude?
No, I think that's enough information for people, to be honest.
Yeah. Hopefully people listen to it before bed and it has some time to sink in, and then they can sleep on it.
And two, also listen to it again, because if there's probably a lot that will go over your head. And if there's things that have been said that like make you like pop something in your brain, and then you're probably not going to really receive much after that. So then it would be good to listen again.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully the chapters work in Spotify and you can go back and find the parts that you feel like, that sparks some interest. Let's go back and listen to that again. Otherwise, definitely for me, people, if there's some questions you have, feel free to reach out, and I'm sure Sam will be open to answer questions that you've got coming up as well.
Yeah, just send me a message on Instagram, or if you're a Facebook person, on Facebook.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, Sam, thank you so much for your time, rushing after a Sunday grind. Pun intended.
Grateful to be here and share and have a chat with you. Thanks for having me on.